I mean, that's kind of what I do anyway, when all jobs is just the repetition of the script. But essentially, very much so with this project, you know, Christopher Hampton wrote this eloquent, articulate piece, but as you said, extremely heavy dialogue. In terms of, there's a lot of dialogue.
Well, it's also of the period. It's the literature of the
Exactly.
time, and the letter writing, and
exactly.
all this.
That was an art form in itself. This idea of communication in this time, you know, early 1900s, especially in the academic world, if you didn't have a very strong command of discourse in whatever language it was that you were speaking, you would be annihilated. And so, working with the piece was very important to me. I treated it like a piece of music, you know, so I worked on it, trying to find the rhythms, trying to find the texture, and just to get a real sort of firm command of it. So then I could sort of, you know, express it in a way that it seemed like I've come from academic, or I'm somewhat intelligent.
No, but that was such a tragic, you know, story too of love lost and
egos.
You know, really is. And Prometheus must have been another big, you know, big studio, you know, level of
yes.
production for you again.
Yes.
You know, using some of your X-Men skills.
Yes. And I just had a blast. You know, I had a lot of fun. It was great opportunity for me to work with Ridley Scott. I mean, he's an amazing guy.
Is this a physical performance, athletic?
It always is.
Centurion was very impressive.
Yeah.
Even if I really didn't like the movie.
No, I didn't either.
You survived it. And you
I don't know about that.
You showed your action prowess.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
some of my acting in that is not good. This is not physical like that, but it's there's a definite physical character there. I'm playing an android, so there's a physicality to the role for sure that I had a lot of fun playing with. It's actually the first sort of thing, and I don't know why it came to me, but and you know, God rest his soul, it was Greg Louganis for some reason popped up into my head. So I kind of sort of based the physicality with him sort of as an inspiration.
Are you a swimmer?
I am, as much as sort of, you know, I'm not like my sister. My sister and my dad are very strong swimmers. I'm more sort of land animal. I mean, I would just do a sort of 100 meters, 200 meter sprint.
And then Haywire. There's too many movies. I'm sorry. So you were there the other night when you debuted at AFI.
Yes.
You know, so
yeah. That was the first time I saw it.
Aha.
Yeah.
And was it what you expected?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Getting your ass kicked?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was 2 days, and there's no better woman to do it than Gina Carano. It was great, you know. It was so much fun, and I'd worked with those guys 8711 before, you know, the stunt guys, and then we had this guy Aaron Cohen, who was a very interesting character, who was from the Douve de Van, I think that's the right pronunciation. It's a special forces group in Israel. Basically, their job is to sort of free hostages and kidnap people. So he trained us to do with sort of the weapons and all that, and then the guys, 8711, who I worked with on 300 before that company, they then did the fight stuff, and I have a good relationship with them, so they allowed me to do all of it. So we did the whole fight. Well, obviously Gina can do it, you know. I'm a little bit more fragile.
Now, your interpretation of Mr. Rochester, this is like doing something in 50 seconds. Your interpretation of Mr. Rochester, I read that book, I grew up with it. It was a little less, it was a little more vulnerable, less brooding.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
I think so.
Than some of the other interpretations have been?
Yeah, I wanted to sort of have a guy that, for me, I thought when I was reading it, I was like, God, this guy seems a bit bipolar to me. And I wanted, you know, so sometimes I wanted him to be very sort of, you know, charming and at ease, and then other places very distant. And I never thought I was like, you know, the brooding element. I just always thought, this is a guy that is walking around with something on his shoulder all the time. You know, Bertha is in the attic the whole time. And sort of every now and again he escapes and forgets. But it keeps coming back to him. And
he wants the love, he wants the tenderness and the sweetness.
Absolutely, but you know, he's been burnt, and I always think, you know, the young 18-year-old boy who went out to Jamaica and bang, you know, next thing his life is taking a turn. and it's a totally different sort of situation than what he would have expected. What turned out, what was supposed to be sort of an adventure for a young man turned out to be something completely different. But I gotta say, I always feel for Bertha. I mean, I always think, was she just a sexual woman? And in that day and age, if you were sexual, you were crazy. And so it's like, no wonder she's trying to burn the house down. She's been locked up in that feckin' attic for, how many years? I've been trying to burn the house down too.
Did you ever read Under the Sargasso Sea?
I did, because I actually was, years ago, I was going to audition for that. They made a sort of TV film out of it. And so I read it then. It's interesting, it's how you sort of, there are sort of takes on it. I mean, I kind of justified it myself by going, well, no, insanity was in the mother's family. It's an hereditary thing. She is crazy. She deserves to be in the attic. But, you think, this guy, and I also thought, it's the classic Byronic hero, and I wanted him to have elements of, hey.
We're done.
I wanted to have elements of vulnerability within that, because I thought it would I always wondered to myself, she has to sort of fall for him, and she has to heal him.
I'm going to put you in it. I'm going to put the publicist in it.
No. I always think that he needs her way more than she needs him, and she's going to be the one that heals him.
Thank you.